Have you ever imagined what would happen if the United States decided to tax Brazil just for being part of an economic bloc? Well, that's exactly what Donald Trump has just announced. In a bombshell post on social media, the former US president and the frontrunner to return to the White House declared that he would impose a 10% tariff on any country that aligns with BRICS policies. And he was clear, there will be no exceptions to this policy. This announcement isn't just another controversy. It could mark the beginning of a new global economic war. And guess what? Brazil is right in the middle of this tension. Hi, my name is Daniel. Stay with me until the end because today you'll understand why Trump is threatening BRICS, what role Brazil plays in this story, and what this could mean for global trade. And while you're here, make sure to subscribe to the channel and comment below. Should Brazil stick with BRICS or protect itself and step away from this mess? The announcement was made this past Sunday, directly on Trump's own social media platform, Truth. In just a few lines, he sent a very direct message. Any country that supports what he called anti-American BRICS policies will be penalized with an additional 10% tariff on products exported to the United States. And more than that, he made it clear that this policy is rigid and non-negotiable. But that's not all. Trump also gave a deadline. These tariffs will only take effect on August 1st. In other words, countries still have a few weeks to race against time and try to negotiate bilateral deals with the US in order to dodge this economic bombshell. For many analysts, this is a classic Trump tactic. Launch the threat, stir chaos, and then force negotiations that benefit American interests. This new move ties into a previous decision, a 90-day suspension of tariffs that were first announced back in April. That temporary truce is about to end on July 9th so far. Only the United Kingdom and Vietnam have managed to secure limited deals to avoid the penalties. Most countries are still walking a tightrope. And we're not talking about small countries. The European Union, for instance, is desperately trying to negotiate exemptions in sectors like agriculture, technology, and aviation. Japan, South Korea, Switzerland, Indonesia, Thailand, and India are also scrambling to avoid the tariff wave. But the main target is another group, BRICS. To understand how serious this is, it's important to realize that BRICS today is far more than Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The bloc expanded to include 11 countries, now incorporating Saudi Arabia, Eden, Egypt, Ethiopia, Argentina, and the United Arab Emirates. It's a coalition with a strong presence in Asia, Africa, Latin America, and the Middle East, a true symbol of the so-called Global South. And this group is gaining more and more strength. BRICS already represents more than half of the world's population. Economically speaking, if measured by purchasing power parity, the bloc has already surpassed the G7, the group of the richest Western economies. On top of that, BRICS has ambitious plans. It wants to create a new international currency to rival the dollar, expand its development bank, and close direct trade deals among its members, bypassing institutions dominated by the United States. In other words, BRICS is directly challenging the American-led system that has been in place since the end of World War II. Now imagine all of this happening with Donald Trump back in power. He has always defended protectionism, has always put US interests above any global commitment, and is now clearly willing to punish anyone who dares to build alternatives to American dominance. So where does Brazil fit into this story? In 2025, Brazil took over the rotating presidency of BRICS, which means it's currently in the bloc's political leadership. That means any coordinated action from BRICS in the coming months will have Brazil as host or mediator. At the same time, the United States remains Brazil's main trading partner in various sectors, especially in exports of industrial goods and commodities. If Trump follows through with this 10% tariff, or worse, if he raises it to 20% or even 50%, as he's hinted at in the past, Brazil could be one of the hardest hit countries. That's because our products would become more expensive in the American market, losing competitiveness. Agribusiness, textiles, steel, and chemical industries could all take a direct hit. This is an extremely delicate situation. On one hand, Brazil wants to strengthen its ties with emerging countries, seek economic autonomy, and position itself as a leader of the Global South. On the other hand, it can't simply shut its doors to the United States, which continues to be a military, commercial, and technological superpower. And there's another key point. The US election is just around the corner, and Trump is leading in the polls. If he wins, this anti-BRICS policy could become reality in a matter of months. That means Brazil needs to start preparing right now. But is BRICS really that big of a threat to the United States? In Trump's view, and in the view of many of his allies, yes, they see BRICS as a project that aims to weaken the dollar, break away from Western trade rules, and empower countries like China and Iran, precisely the nations Washington fears the most. For the American establishment, letting BRICS grow means paving the way for a new world order in which the US is no longer at the center. But for the global South, BRICS is an opportunity, a chance to build fairer trade, free from IMF, free from unilateral sanctions, and with a stronger voice in global economic decisions. The big question is, which side will Brazil choose? Will it face the consequences of standing with BRICS, or back down to maintain access and support from the US? This won't be an easy decision, and it may not just depend on ideology, but on economic calculations, and both internal and external pressure. One thing is certain, the world is moving toward a much sharper divide. On one side, the United States and its traditional allies. On the other, BRICS and the nations of the global South. And in the middle of it all, countries like Brazil will have to make some very difficult choices. And you? Do you think Brazil should keep its leadership in BRICS or give in to US pressure? Drop your opinion in the comment. Your voice is crucial for this debate. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Here, we follow the backstage of global power and reveal the movements that are shaping the future of the world economy. See you in the next video.